So it looks like another country just approved the Xbox Activision acquisition. Let's look into this. But before we look into it, let's check iniba.com. They offer games for Xbox, PlayStation, Nintendo and PC, and they always have a ton of games on offer, like Best Games of June, for example. There's some Sims 4 DLCs and Steam gift cards and also other gift cards over here. So let's check them out. We've got Xbox gift cards, PlayStation gift cards. So how about we go with this one, for example? So 50 euros, a gift card for 43. There we go. So click on that and let's just wait for the page to load. There we go. And make sure that the obviously region restrictions are fine. And all you have to do now is just buy now or add more to your cart and proceed to checkout, and voila, all you have to do is just select a payment of your choice and you are done. So guys, iniba.com, you will find the link to this website in the description of this video below. Okay guys, let's talk about the Xbox Activision acquisition. So we are still waiting for the federal judge to decide on that preliminary injunction that FTC is trying to get, which would literally block the deal for good. Activision and Microsoft would actually just walk away from the deal if that preliminary injunction were to be issued. So yeah, and as always, some people say that it will be issued, while others say that it won't. So we will have to wait until probably end of this week, or at least like Wednesday, Thursday. But we actually have got some good news. Looks like another country just approved that Activision. Now we're talking about South Africa, and so this information is a courtesy of Idle Sloth. As always, he's very good in keeping us up to date, as always. But obviously, this is the original source of information is some South African website. It might have something to do with the government or that regulator. Either way, the tweet says, breaking: the South African Competition Tribunal has unconditionally approved the proposed merger of Microsoft and Activision Blizzard. This is the 39th country to approve the merger. And by the way, also some actually people did ask, didn't they already approve this before? Looks like no, they didn't. What was done before was just they recommended to approve it, right? And so I guess they didn't. They needed more time to like investigate further. So what we all reported about like in April, that was just like, I guess, a preliminary kind of findings and stuff, right? While now they just approved it. And interestingly enough, it's done unconditionally, which is interesting because there's actually a number of countries that did that this way, like no conditions, no issues with the merger, right? So yeah, like obviously we still have to wait for the FTC. The judge really. FTC has actually did their job already, trying their best to block it. Obviously, I still see people arguing about who's wrong, who's right. There's a lot of feelings involved in this. Me personally, I won't say that I don't care. I do care. I actually want Microsoft. I want this deal to go through because that will benefit, gamers, basically more games in Game Pass. I guess better competition overall, in my opinion, in the console and not only console space, but also services space. I would say that at this point, I don't necessarily even care that much about the console space per se. I don't really look at it from the console perspective. Xbox, PlayStation, Nintendo, it doesn't matter. I look at it from more like a ecosystem perspective. To be honest with you, I'm playing more on PC lately anyway. So, and PC gets all the benefits because not only PC gets Xbox games, but also PlayStation games. Yes, they may be late, they may be later, they may be coming later, but still. And obviously Game Pass is on PC, so that's a big win as well. And PC is not really perfect either, because there's some issues and stuff like once for a while, but it is what it is. But anyway, going back to that approval, it's almost 39. Actually, it's 39 countries that approved it. Now, interestingly enough, FTC, I think they were trying to, because what I've heard is that, because I didn't follow the 4-day trial, and I was just reading some reports on it, obviously, but I didn't really sit in front of my monitor, TV, or whatever, watching that trial going on. But I've read somewhere that FTC, obviously their main focus was on the console market, and high-end console market, of course, because they, for whatever reason, both CMA and FTC is trying to kind of put Nintendo in the corner. They are like, hey, they don't belong here, they are a different market, even though they are not really. And I get it, like, they are not, they don't offer the same games, their hardware is a little bit different, so I guess it caters to a little bit different demographic for the most part. But yeah, it's still a console. They still compete for your time which you spent playing games, right? It's like Netflix, HBO, whatever, right? If you watch Netflix, you don't watch HBO, if you know what I mean. If you play Nintendo, you don't play any other console, right? Unless you've got you are really multitasking, and I mean that would be interesting to see, right? But you know what I mean. Like, they say that they don't compete, but they really do. They just offer different, I guess, products for a lot of times for the same people, because there's a lot of people, Xbox guys, PlayStation guys, that own Nintendo Switch too. And that's why I the whole thing about like, let's leave Nintendo out, it kind of don't make sense in my opinion. There's something else I wanted to say, but I don't know, I forgot about it. So yeah, we will learn about the FTC and the federal court decision very soon, like this week. The only question I still haven't really seen anyone answering is, let's imagine that federal court will say no injunction, no preliminary injunction for FTC. So Microsoft, you can go and close the deal. But in reality, they still can't close the deal like per se, like cleanly, because CMA, they did block the deal, right? They are going through the appeal process still, but they haven't really finished it yet. And I think that the next hearings at the tribunal in UK are taking place like at the end of this month, while on June 18th is the last day when Microsoft can actually close the deal before they will have to pay up like $3 billion to Activision and shareholders and whatever, right? So I'm not really sure how that's going to work. I see a lot of people saying, oh, Microsoft will just close the deal. Yeah, cool, but what about CMA? What's going to happen there? Are they going to just ignore them? Are they ready to pay the fines? You know what? Actually, thinking about it, like if they don't close the deal, they will have to pay to Activision anyway. And they are risking that Activision will actually walk away. They kind of did. Activision did say, Bobby Kotick did say that they will walk away if they don't close the deal by the middle of June or July. So maybe Microsoft's thinking is that we don't care about UK. They can fine us. We can pay the fine. If we don't close the deal, we will pay that $3 billion anyway. So at least we've closed the deal and we own Activision, if you know what I mean. While the other scenario is to pay the fine and ending up with nothing. So maybe that's the reasoning behind that. And, you know, because CMA block actually do block the deal. It's just that, yes, Microsoft can ignore it, but then they will be fined. They will have to pay, you know, some big sum of money, and we're probably talking about billions. But like I said, it may be that it's probably going to be more beneficial for Microsoft to close the deal and pay the fine, you know, some years later, because hey, you know, finding Microsoft will probably take years anyway, right? That deal is going to get messy if that happens, right? But at the same time, it may be that the competition tribunal, like by the end of this month, will say, you know what, CMA was wrong, let's unblock it, and there won't be fine. So there won't be fined. I mean, it is possible. I'm not, but you know, you don't really know. But like I said, it may be that Microsoft is ready to risk being fined by CMA, but close the deal and, you know, and basically, you know, pay up the money, and, you know, at least they will own Activision and then deal with any repercussions later. I mean, that's going to be expensive, but I guess, you know, we're talking about a huge deal anyway. And, you know, it's, you know, ABK is a huge revenue, you know, source. So, I mean, they would, you know, that still would be a good investment for Microsoft. But, you know, at the same time, it just wouldn't really look good. And there would be a lot of complaining and crying and stuff. But I guess it's all about business, money and stuff. Microsoft probably don't care. But yeah, it is what it is. So if FTC not FTC, but if federal judge will not issue the preliminary injunction, Microsoft will close the deal probably. If the judge will issue the preliminary injunction, then the deal is done, and Activision will they did say that they will walk away from the deal, and that's a done deal, right? As in, yeah, everyone goes separate ways, and you know, that would be interesting to see what's going to happen there. But anyway, guys, so that's the news. South Africa just approved the deal, so that's yet another country that did that. It's just CMA in UK and FTC in States. Well, Canada was actually complaining about this deal too, but it was too late, right? So, you know, they can complain all they want. It has no meaning, like basically they were too late to the party to complain about it, right? That's what I've heard. So anyway, guys, that's the video. I hope you enjoyed it. Let me know in the comment section below what you think about it, and I will see you all in the next one. Take care.